Are you about ready?
I guess we do it.
Okay, you know your stuff. You know your opening gig.
Yeah, it'll come to me.
Will it?
God, I hope so.
Okay, are you ready for this date?
All right. Can't believe it's Sunday. Tomorrow's actually a Monday.
I know. It's devastating.
It's irritating.
Okay. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know.
Life goes on.
Yep.
And the show goes on. Push the damn button, sir.
And greetings. This is the Long in the Boot podcast, the podcast coming to you from the heel of the boot of Southwest Louisiana. I'm your host, G Long. Sitting across the way from me, as always, is Deb.
Hello, everybody.
How you doing, Deb?
Oh, I'm doing great.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
Good. Yeah, it's been a while.
It has. And we weren't alone last time.
Oh, that's true.
Yes. So
if you'd like to, give us a call, say hi. You can do that at 337-502-9011. Email address longintheboot@gmail.com. And there's a Facebook thing. And you can also go to the webpage if there's an episode you want to go listen to. And
if you just want to peruse the descriptions.
Go cover one of our many hurricane episodes. And
Habs already fussed at you for that. You said that.
And you can do that at longintheboot.com. Mm-hmm. And that's about that.
That's that. That's the connection stuff.
So there.
All right.
And
you've
thanks.
Gotten really good at that. I didn't even think you'd remember it. I thought you were off kilter today and you were just going to go, I don't know. Wingnut.
Wingnut.
Is that your wingnut?
I don't know.
Oh, we could trademark that.
Yeah. I think my wingnut, he'd be a little, he's easy.
Like Bubbles?
Yeah, just a wingnut. You know how they are.
I guess. I don't know.
You can't describe them, but y'all know them.
We all know wingnuts. Oh, absolutely. So we'd have to.
Yeah. So anyway, last episode.
Well, that's what I was trying to do, but you went off.
Oh, well, go ahead then.
You took off on the nut and you
just
Oh,
you go ahead, Debbie. I'm just gonna be right over here in the corner.
We had Habs back for our 100th episode.
Yeah,
bringing back a little bit of history, a little nostalgia.
Accidentally said the H word.
We did, and he called us on it the next day, even before Francine reared her indecisive head.
But she hung a right, so
we like Francine.
So thank you, Francine, for turning right. I hope everybody over in the other part of the state recovers quickly. It looks like they are.
Well, it's coming along as things do. And some things will never be right again, though. But yeah, we won't go there.
Yeah.
So and you've already said it again. So shut up.
That's true. We still have October to go.
Okay, and I think it's going to be good. We're all going to be good.
Yep. Had a debate.
There was a debate. I saw a portion of it. Maybe. Bella saw the debate as well.
Did not enjoy the debate.
No, she did not. She's calling them on their BS right now.
Yep, and that's her job.
It is. We've hired her.
Bella, the fact checker.
There was a lot of flying non-facts.
She's like, it's all crap. It's all BS.
I know. I feel that way too. But but me, like Granny on the Beverly Hillbillies, I got the joy down in my heart.
Okay.
And despite all that happens around me, I'm going to be enraged when I need to be. And
I've got the joy down in my heart.
Yeah.
Hey, down in my heart. Hey,
I know. You don't sound like Granny.
I know.
And she
I couldn't do Granny.
No,
no way.
We shouldn't. All right. So.
Okay.
Are you getting to a point today?
Yeah.
We wanted to thank Habs. That was the point.
We were talking about some stuff, and we came up with this thing about things that almost happened.
Oh, you want the segue into how did we get to that?
Well,
the rabbit hole that started it.
Oh, wait.
That's how I usually do this.
Oh,
We start with the thread that got us there.
Yeah, I know.
Because that's how thinking
I
is.
forget what was the thing.
It was the wreck of the Edmonds.
Oh, there we go. Thank you.
It was the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
That's right. I forgot.
So I'm listening to the song, and no matter how many times I hear it, there's always this one moment where I feel like, oh, if they could have just, and in the song he says, if they just put 15 more miles behind them, they would have made Whitefish Bay, I think. And that's always the sad part right there, Oh, fellas, it's been good to know you. And they're 15 miles. That's all they needed. And they would have survived. Or even gotten 10 miles, and they might have almost. It was an almost situation, which led me to.
Well, they came close.
They did. Just by a 15 mile.
15 miles.
That's it.
15.
They could have survived. So I started thinking about all those almosts in history, like, how Edmondson and Scott on that.
On their journey to the pole.
Yes, on their race to the pole. And he was, 11 miles.
Yeah,
Scott was 11 miles.
They were 170 miles from their base camp originally.
Yeah, but they got all the way.
They went 170 miles. If they had gone 181 miles,
they would have survived. But instead, they all froze to death in their tent.
But even more importantly,
11 miles.
If they had provisioned correctly,
exactly, almost they almost made it.
Because really, it was just bad preparedness,
poor planning. Yeah, probably hubris.
You think so?
It may be to beat Edmondson. Edmondson has this stellar rep, and
that's true. And then so almost, these things that they happen,
and if something,
if one little thing tips, it's like things can go
another way
wrong, and
or way good. Sometimes it's a positive.
Sometimes
I can't think of one of those though. Negatives are easy to find.
Well, yeah, the one of the ones that we came across again because we dove down this rabbit hole is 1983 and the Able Archer military drill.
I had never heard of this.
Yeah, it's an almost.
In 1983, I had just graduated high school. I was 17.
Well, it happened at a weird time in history. 1983, everything was pretty tense between the Soviet Union and us, and so the way the story goes, they created a game, and in the game, Americans were going to see what looks to be warheads being taken out of their NATO hangars. So they go ahead and plan for all of this stuff, and NATO was saying all of this stuff and putting it out to their people and running this drill. They changed our thing to DEFCON 2.
Oh, our level?
Yeah, DEFCON 1. We were at DEFCON 2 for the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Oh.
But in this game, we did this. But the problem is the Soviet Union.
It was like the movie War Games.
Well, in a way.
They're playing a game, a scenario. They're running scenarios.
But the problem is, at the time we were running the game, the Soviets were changing leadership.
Okay.
So there's a lot of weird crap that happens in the Soviet Union when leadership changes. People have to be killed. People have to be arrested.
You have
people
to
have
get
to be
people
questioned.
out of their jobs. Sure. Okay. Changing of the guard.
And so the game mirrored what was happening in the Soviet Union on one level.
Oh, so their people are watching this.
So Soviet intelligence people looked at this thinking, aha, they're trying to trick us into thinking
it's a game.
Yes, but it's real. It's under the guise of a drill.
So like a double agent kind of situation where you've got...
The test was so realistic to both sides that it almost started a nuclear war.
Oh, okay. But
so
again, this did not get news.
No,
it was not newsworthy.
The Soviets readied all nuclear forces that freaked out people on our side. We're seeing them doing these
and have
things.
No reason to think that they don't know that that's a drill.
Well, that's the problem. Some of it was a drill, but some of it was actually real because it was happening real time.
Their reactions were real.
Right, but that wasn't what was supposed to happen. This was all supposed to be a game. The Soviets weren't supposed to be any part of this other than the game. And so they actually didn't, the news of this didn't really come out until 1990. It took 7 years for it to finally come out.
Reveal itself.
And part of what did it was they had a double agent situated in London. So the Brits thought he was working with them against the Soviets, but in fact, he was a Soviet working against the Brits for the Soviets.
And somehow got the leadership to recognize that it was just a game being run?
Well, he kept telling them, look, they're not going to attack. These people, the West is not going to do a first
Well, I hope
strike.
his argument skills, I guess his argument skills must have been pretty convincing.
They were convincing.
There was no nuclear war.
He said the West will never be a first strike world. They'll never use nuclear bombs.
Okay, well, that's one person's opinion.
Well, I
think it kind of depends on who's in office.
Nah, does it?
I don't know anymore.
That's a pretty bold thing to think about. You know, if you're going to go ahead and just say, all right, now's our chance. We can wipe them out. What kind of
I don't know.
So at the same time, all this was happening. They had the Korean Airlines that went off course, and the Soviets shot it down. That happened right around this time,
right around
too.
that same time, because tensions were high.
The United States was about to put Pershing nuclear missiles in Europe.
So that looked bad as well.
So all
Very
of this,
aggressive.
So it was a whole bunch of stuff all happening at the same time, and it made everybody really tense. So when they do this game, again, I emphasize game.
Okay.
They never thought that maybe the Soviets might see it as
Threatening. Real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
well, even if they recognize that it was a game, it still seems pretty aggressive at the moment, I guess. Bad timing, miscommunication.
My favorite is the Soviets refused to believe the Americans were bluffing, and the Americans, meanwhile, suspected the Soviets were bluffing about not thinking the Americans were bluffing.
Oh, dear God, how meta. I can't.
Wah, wah. So this is an almost. And luckily,
there was somebody with
there were some cooler heads.
Yeah.
And well, no, not really, because what stopped the Soviets from thinking it was all happening was the Americans just shut off the drill.
No, the computer, you mean?
They
turned off the program?
Stopped the game. It was over.
Oh, they got to the end.
It just ended.
Who won?
I guess the world did.
I guess we all did. I might rethink that here in 2024. I might say, maybe
it was a tie, and that's why we're all still here. I don't know, but it just shut off.
Okay.
And then the Soviets were like, it just ended all their because the Soviets were seeing us doing all this stuff.
Yeah, and then it deflated them.
And then
It deflated them.
Well, everybody's going home.
Damn.
People are driving away.
They're taking their missiles and leaving. Good. Okay, so that was
that was an almost
that would have gone very badly. All right.
So, did you have any other almosts?
I don't have any other almost. I have none of that.
Really?
I don't. The Scott Edmondson thing. The Edmund Fitzgerald, 15 miles, 11 miles.
Yeah.
I guess you know what? In our real life, there are lots of almosts.
Oh, all the time.
All the time. So I guess that's.
And how do you know? A lot of times when things work out a certain way,
you never realize how close you came. But sometimes you can see it. You can see the process and realize, man, had I done that, that would have been my outcome.
Yeah.
That could have been me. I could have taken that job and I could have been him or her,
right.
20 years later. So see, even Otto's like, yes.
Yeah. Something could have happened.
It almost changed my life.
Yeah. And I've got another almost.
You do? Oh, I didn't know you had another one.
Oh, yes.
My story is completely unrelated to any of that.
Well, I have two other almost. One is old timey Hitler stuff.
You didn't tell me any of this.
I know.
Keeping secrets.
You said don't talk about stuff.
I know. I said keep secrets.
But I also have an almost that's more recent that happened over in Texas, and it seems weird at first, but then you think, well, it's Texas.
Don't blame. All right, you're generalizing, but go ahead. What's your story?
Well, hang on.
What almost happened?
Well, a guy from DoorDash was delivering some Panera Bread specialties,
products. Okay,
some products.
All right, in
near,
Texas.
Over by Pearland.
Oh, Houston area. Okay.
And while he was driving, he came up upon three guys on horses. Three riders. There were more people on horses, but there were three riders in particular.
Okay.
And
what were they doing?
They were on both sides of the road.
Okay.
And not letting anybody pass them.
Oh, they're using their horses to play chicken?
Well, they're just not people are slowing down, I guess.
Well, yeah.
So they were spreading the 3 horses out, covering both lanes, and were messing with cars that attempted to go around them by maneuvering their horses over into towards the cars to try to make them drive off in a ditch or something. And so they thought it was funny, and the guys got it on video. So some trucks went off road to get around the horseback riders. So this delivery guy, he's driving a Sonata.
Okay, so he's not going in the ditch. He's not going around.
So he came up and asked one of them if they could just, let him pass, and they told him to shut his bitch ass up.
Oh, so he tried nice first. That's always my advice. Try nice first.
So he tried to get around him one more time, and one of the riders moved his horse real quick over. So he freaked out. He kind of went down the ditch, but he got away.
Okay.
And then he stopped and he called the police.
Oh, yes.
And they came and took information. But before that happened,
you're telling the story out of order.
Oh, I am, because when he went down in the ditch, that's when he heard pop, pop behind him. One of the horse guys had pulled out a gun and fired at him.
He shot at him?
Yes. And so he gets to where he's going at Fort Bend, and he tells the police, "Hey, guys shot
on
at
horseback, they shot at me."
So the police show up, and they've got the pictures of the car in here, and it went through the trunk.
Okay.
And you can see where it came out in the rear driver's side seat.
Oh, no.
But the thing is, there's a frying pan that was in his trunk, and you can see the big dent in the side of the frying pan.
So the frying pan caught the bullet, so he didn't.
It deflected it.
Oh, geez.
And
so he almost was shot in the back.
Right.
Delivering Panera. And a frying pan saved him.
Yep.
You never know, folks. You just never know.
Right.
Wow.
So that's an almost that's kind of
that
odd.
is teach us all to have frying pans just tuck them into that little pouch.
Well, the customer did get a $10 tip.
Or the driver? Oh, okay. The customer gave him an extra 10.
Or gave him an extra 10
for getting shot at.
Now it did take him 3 hours to deliver the order.
Oh.
Now for that.
Oh no. It's not over.
He was given some kind of weird demerit from DoorDash that he had a contract violation on his account for taking 3 hours to deliver it. Now he had already called him and told him everything that happened, and they said it was fine. And that he was told his account would be reviewed for deactivation.
Oh my God!
And to top it off, Panera gave the customer someone else's food.
Oh, so the order wasn't even right.
The receipt on the bag was correct. What was in the bag was not.
Wrong. Somebody back at Panera screwed up.
So now he may lose his job. So in a way, he's almost fired.
Almost fired. Almost dead.
Yeah, almost dead.
Almost unemployed.
Almost fired.
Oh. Well, you know what? He could almost get paid if he handled this properly.
Yeah, that's true.
Go ahead, DoorDash. Go ahead. Do it. Do it. I challenge you. Do it. All right. Well, I like that one. That one was pretty good. So, and it's very relevant to our lives.
Okay.
How strange. I mean, he didn't ask for any of that.
That's true.
You don't come upon, riders on a horse in the road and encounter that kind of.
But Texas
bullshit every day.
Texas.
All right.
Just saying.
That's true. There are animals here. I saw it was a delightful photo the other day. It's just, one picture, and they're like 3 cows in the middle of the little rural road staring at the driver in the car. The car's just sitting there, takes a picture of the cows. The cows look challenging. Like, come on.
Well, you ain't getting past them.
You're not getting past them. No. And they're all, it's
big, giant leather bags of water.
You're not going anywhere.
They're not going anywhere.
No. And that's not an unusual picture on the local, pages.
No, it's unusual when the cows actually pose
and look menacing, challenging her to come at them. Yes.
So what did you have?
Well, I don't have anything about almost. I guess it could be almost. When we did labels a while back, talking about labels and how labels are can be mostly negative, I guess nowadays especially. But I had a story at the time about studies they've done, research they've done most recently about names. And what your names reveal about you, right? So, of course, some names get stereotypes attached to them,
right?
And that can't be helped because, well, there's been a lot of stories about names, and they get published all the time, and people try to make fun of them. But that's your moniker, and you're going to have to carry that through life.
True.
So if your parents are really creative, that's going to have an effect on you.
Well, if they're creative in the right way.
Yeah, in the right way or the wrong way. It's going to have an effect either way. Of course, so that means your name can reveal cultural values and, the shifts in culture. If you study names over decades and centuries, you can really see the culture and the changes within the culture just through that.
Yeah.
First names and middle names. They actually influence our personality to a degree. And they can be a factor in important life decisions.
Your name?
Your name. Mm-hmm. So, Shakespeare, of course, Romeo and Juliet, she says, what is in a name that which we call a rose by any other name would still smell as sweet. But,
Would it?
But there's so much attached to it. Your name has baggage with it, whether you ask for it or not.
Oh, absolutely.
So those are almost. I thought that was actually an almost because we almost named Dakota Tyler.
Yeah, we talked about, yeah.
I didn't really have a whole lot of other choices for Scarlett. I was pretty set on that. Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah,
I think we had talked about a Savannah.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it very long.
No, we really didn't. I had already 13. I was settled.
No, Coda was Sawyer was the other.
Oh, that's right, Sawyer.
Sawyer or Dakota.
See, it didn't even mean that much to me, which is good that we picked the right one. I think. Right?
Yeah, well, clearly we must have.
So, well, yeah, because your name's going to carry.
Because that's his name.
It's your culture.
And he couldn't be more Dakota. See?
I agree with that. They give you a sense of who you are, sometimes the communities, your place in the world is attached to all of that. So when they got down to it and started studying, what type of person comes to mind, asking people when you present a name to them, a first name, what do they think? So according to 400 participants, Elizabeths are high in warmth and competence, while Misty's are low in both warmth and competence. Riley's are seen as warm but not competent people, and Ruth's are competent but they are not warm.
Interesting.
Yes, and I'd like to see the actual, what was the list of qualities that you were asking? So you're just basically looking at a name and saying, David, what kind of person is he?
Yeah. That's kind of weird.
It is kind of weird.
Everybody would have different things, though.
Well, yeah, I would think so, based on your
personal
and your region. Region has a huge part in naming of children.
That's true.
We use names, of course, to infer information. Sometimes it's stereotypical, economic class, social class, that kind of stuff. Mary, if they think of European names like Mary to be, wealthy, intelligent, education comes to mind when you think of a European name, apparently. Yeah, I know.
I don't know. I think names are getting more and more
generic. Well, no, see, they're saying no because of the individualism in our country. We have a lot
They're not getting more generic.
We have a lot more unique names.
That's what I was going to say.
And that's strictly tied to our individualistic sense. It's happening in Japan now, too. Over the last 30 years, it's starting to change. For America, the last 200 years, we've been moving towards more and more individualized names. First names, yeah. Latin Americans, people rate them as lowest on the income and education level if you have Latin names.
What?
I know. Asian names, what do you think? People are rating Asian names.
Oh, they must have money.
High perceived education and income level, comparable to the view of Europeans. I'm just reading the stuff.
Sounds like a form of racism.
It absolutely does. But you see those judgments that come tied along with whatever you've saddled your kid with.
Well, that's true.
So those are those almost, you got to think about this. We have a lot of our listeners are new parents or they have younger kids and, well, they gave a lot of thought to a name for their child, but it is really important.
Well, you got to think about all of the ways people can shorten it.
Well, sure. And that, I actually read a whole thing about that because that's a discussion of your intimacy level with somebody, how close you are. He used the name Cynthia.
Well, I was thinking about the number of people who don't name their kids Richard anymore. But
those kind of nicknames. Oh, yes. The ones like Hank and Henry.
All kids, man.
Did I tell you the other day I had a girl reading and she was supposed to say Herbert Hoover and she said Bear Hoover?
You know what? I like it better.
For the president.
Heber Hoover.
Heber Hoover. I know. I thought about that.
He'd have been a better guy.
I thought about that all day long. Heber Hoover.
Heber Hoover.
He would have been better. We would have liked him more. Yes, absolutely.
I like that a lot.
Conformity and nonconformity. We go through these honor culture regions like the South.
Yeah.
Where we're going to name the boys after the dad, first name. You're a victim of that.
Sure.
And that's tied directly to what they call the honor culture. That's why Asians would do it too, but everybody's kind of steering away from that for some reason now. I don't know. Those things, naming after the father's first name, are more common in states where honor culture is predominant.
Honor culture,
you know, like we're gonna kick those Yankees' asses.
What liberal woke person wrote this?
I don't know.
Honor culture.
Well, it's italicized and is linked, so they did their research.
Well, they've got research in the study of.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So then your name has an effect on your destiny as well.
Your honor culture.
You know, Dennis.
So people in other places don't have honor?
No, they absolutely do. That's what I said. In Japan, it was a big thing too. In China.
Well, I know, but she specifically said she was making reference to the South.
Of course she
being
was.
an honor culture.
Yes.
So sorry, Yankees.
Okay. Well,
you have no honor. That's what she's saying.
Let me go look at the name of the writer and see. Oh, He Michael Varnum, and he looks like a, well.
Oh, he's a hipster.
Yes. Okay. There you go. Well, that just told us everything we needed to know about Michael Varnum. There we go. I'm sorry, Michael. I did not mean to superficially judge you like that. I thought the article was actually quite interesting. He had lots of cited studies. Dentists often go on to become dentists, you know. Really? And of course, there's the tie to last names and your job, which makes more sense because that's traditional, handed down, you know, carpenter. Your dad was a carpenter. His dad was a carpenter, you know, I was, all the way back through the centuries.
So I just looked into honor culture, yes, and they're tying it to the planter class of the South.
Of course it is.
And I'm like, well, look, that they had that everywhere.
Well, yes, it's a form of regionalism, like nationalism for the country.
But here, for whatever reason.
But is it wrong for you to think that your area is superior to other areas?
But then they're making things like Southerners have this tension because of honor. So they are more prone to commit violent acts. I'm immediately, that's what I'm looking at.
Oh, wow.
The sociology of this.
Yeah.
Okay, so David Fisher, here we go, rabbit hole, kids. We're going live down this rabbit hole.
I'm sorry I started that.
Makes a case for an enduring genetic basis for the willingness to resort to violence, citing especially the finding of high blood levels of testosterone. And in his book, Albion's Seed, he proposes that a Southern propensity for violence is inheritable by genetic changes wrought over generations in living in herding societies in northern England, the Scottish borders, and the Irish border region. He proposes that this propensity has been transferred to other ethnic groups by shared culture, and that's why in the South, since it was predominantly settled by northern England, Scottish, and Irish people, they bring that honor culture with them. And he says because they were poor and were denied social access and the means to attain it, that they are more prone to commit violent acts.
Wow. Okay.
Honor culture, kids.
There you go. Wow. That's what the rest of the country thinks of the South, I guess.
Yeah, and the gender roles. Oh, there it is. Ladies should not be insulted by gentlemen. The Southern gentleman is expected to be chivalrous towards women,
you know, in
words and deeds.
We were never upset by that part of it. There's nothing wrong with being a gentleman.
Oh, is that right?
That is correct.
That's right. The slave-owning planter class of the South would codify their concepts of honor and gallantry under the code of Southern chivalry.
Well, you know what? Really, just let me do it myself. How about that? You go off and do whatever you're going to do.
Sophisticated Southern gentleman such as myself is a knightly cavalier with paternal responsibility towards those subservient to me.
Good Lord.
I'm reading these guys' words.
Well, you can stop. We're done with that. That was so.
That's fun.
That's so 1850s.
That was a great rabbit hole.
Well, you're welcome.
Oh, man.
Okay, so names. Back to names, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then that would mean then that many of those men, those plantation men, were, of course, were named after their fathers and their grandfathers. Who
were also prone to violence.
So when we talk, we've talked before about hand-me-down racism, hand-me-down beliefs, and hand-me-down stereotypes. Is there anything more revealing than that you've just named your boys every generation the same?
I must continue.
Exactly. And we've got to continue with this set of beliefs, and we don't want to change them.
Yep. There you go.
Which is, again, a general statement that certainly not everybody that is named after their father and their father's father and their father before them.
And all the rest of them.
So as to not upset any of the, patriarchy.
There you go. We don't want that to happen.
No, we can't do that. But that was pretty much all I had. I thought the name thing was kind of interesting, in general. Okay. And thinking about that, our younger audience who's still going to be naming kids throughout, the next decade or so, they'll have their sweet babies. There are some cute babies. They're always cute babies.
Babies.
I know those former students and their cute babies.
Cute babies. Mm-hmm. Cute babies everywhere.
And then they grow up to look just like their parents.
Yeah, some of them just look like a mini me's.
Just little ones, yeah.
That's always funny.
Always cute.
It's painful, though, when you see them later.
I wanted to say something real quick.
Uh-oh.
I don't know how we are on time. I actually have not been watching the clock.
Well, I have.
Once we got rolling.
You have time.
It was a little choppy there at first.
Okay.
We settled in.
We settled in.
We settled in. Last night, we watched the movie Civil War.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'd been waiting for it to be free on my pay, TV.
Yeah, I didn't want to pay for it.
I didn't want to pay extra because I already pay for services.
I pay service.
And I don't want to pay on top of that. So we waited. And I didn't really have a concept. I think you had read about it. I knew when it first came out, there was some grumblings that it might cause some problems and stir some things up.
I knew who the director was, and
well, then I had this preconceived.
The director's style is pretty cool.
Yeah, I did. Again, I knew absolutely.
He did that weird movie Annihilation. You remember where they went had that zone and they sent the women in, the soldiers?
No.
And it was all really weird experience. You don't remember?
No, I don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a really cool movie, and it's sparse in its use of language.
Well,
I
thought Civil War was sparse as well in that because I came to it thinking it was going to be Yahoo against Yahoo and just,
no, not at all.
It was going to be crazy like that. There was a lot of violence. There was, but it was more of a psychological journey.
It was.
Kirsten Dunst was amazing.
What I immediately in my head, what I kind of thought about a lot was the Heart of Darkness.
Oh, Conrad.
Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
Because it was people on this quest.
Yeah. It wasn't about a civil war so much as how to get PTSD.
And so, by the way, if you haven't seen it, I'm spoiling it. So,
Wow.
But the whole thing is a quest to get to the White House by these photojournalists.
Yeah.
And there's no...
Who seem to be very unbiased, to have no side. They never clarify that. They never really.
That's when you have fun because it came out a while back, so you can go and read
not that far
people's criticism of the movie.
I have not.
And some of it's really funny because they're like, the fact that they have no side proves that they're left. That was my favorite.
Oh well, this is just like the damn Russia and
so you can't win.
Yeah, you can't win no matter what you do.
Yeah, and I thought it was pretty unbiased. What I liked about it, it was a study of photojournalists.
Yeah,
in war situations.
Yeah.
And
it just happened to be a war in our own country.
Yeah, and they don't explain the war or anything like that.
No, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of.
But there is a slip at one point. There's a conversation, and you just hear it in passing, and it talks about when the president took his third term. And I thought, so you can't do that.
That dictatorship kind of thing. But if you're at war, you can.
Well, that's exactly it. So clearly what had happened is he had declared a national emergency and made himself president again. I think that's kind of what they're hinting at.
Well, maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I was surprised at what it was because I guess my preconceived ideas. and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be slow for some people. They might think it's kind of slow.
It can be. There's not a lot of. I mean, there's not a lot of dialogue.
No. Their acting did it. The scenes did it.
Yeah, and everybody in it was really great. I thought. Well done.
I thought so too.
Well done.
All right. Well, so you can try it, or you can go. Oh Lord, I don't want to know any.
I don't want to see that.
I don't want to see any of that stuff. So that's up to you.
And I've got one last.
You did have something to go out on.
Yeah.
Is it positive or negative?
Let's change topics. There.
Okay. There's your practice.
Yeah. Well, I'll get better.
You'll get better.
And,
we'll structure it that way.
By the way, cherries, the fruit, they're unhealthy now, says the government.
Why does the government hate on cherries?
Cherries and cranberries, weirdly enough. It's the new nutrition rules that have targeted cherries and cranberries. Currently, those people who make those things can put the word healthy on their packaging, right? Cranberry juice, healthy. Cherries, healthy. Dried cherries, healthy. Dried cranberries, healthy. Well, the FDA says, hey, you can't call it healthy anymore because y'all add sugar to it.
Oh, they add sugar to it.
Well, yeah, you can't eat a cranberry without some sugar. Jeez.
No. Yeah. But you can buy them without sugar too. You have that choice.
And dried tart cherries, you couldn't eat without some sugar.
Yeah, you
got to have some sugar.
But again, if you need them without that, you can get them.
Well, that's true. But the word healthy apparently carries a lot of weight in the advertising business. But here's the kicker,
well,
though.
yeah, people are willing to pay more.
Okay, so the government's going to say, for instance, like raisins, you can put healthy on raisins. They don't have to add sugar to raisins.
Yeah,
because grapes have a huge sugar content already. These other things that are good because they provide vitamin A and C, antioxidants. They're good for people with gout and arthritis. Cranberries help with urinary tract infections and cardiovascular disease. So they have health benefits, no question.
Okay.
But they're not going to be able to put healthy on them anymore.
All right.
That's our government coming in.
Hard at work. Yeah. I wonder how much it costs them to meet in committee and spend time doing all that. just so that we're protected. Who was it? Home Depot's about to have to pay a huge settlement for basically false advertising and gypping people out of money.
Oh, that's true. But here you go. This is
okay. Woo.
No, that's I mean, yes, they're trying to rip them off. But the FDA, though, hey man. So the Utah, Massachusetts, Wisconsin, and Michigan tart cherry and cranberry marketing board.
They sent out a
I kid you not.
Did they send out a
No, these are the states, right?
Okay.
And they're complaining about this new rule change and said that it could affect up to 3/4 of their sales. And then here's the FDA saying, we estimate that a small number of people that try to follow current dietary guidelines of these consumers would use the healthy implied nutrient content claim to make meaningful, long-lasting food purchases. In other words, we don't think it's going to affect anybody. Yeah. Changing this isn't going to affect anybody.
I don't think it will.
So the fruit growers say the rule will severely hurt them. The government says it will have zero impact.
But they're going to do it anyway.
So the question is, why do it?
They have to look.
We're going to make this rule that nobody's going to give a shit about.
They have to look busy. They just have to look busy.
Meanwhile, Honey Nut Cheerios, which has gobs of sugar in it, they're still allowed to display healthy claims on their packaging because of the fiber, while salmon is barred from saying healthy because its fat content is too high.
Okay. How about we make our own decisions and just not worry about it? I don't think the government needs to get that up in it. And
who should be leading this but Elizabeth Warren?
Really?
And Mitt Romney.
Oh, good God. So if we had just elected them president at some point, what would they have done?
I don't even know.
Maybe they wouldn't have done any of this because they would have been too damn busy doing real things.
Oh, excuse me. I got that backwards. They're actually the ones that brought this to the fore. Otherwise, we wouldn't even know about it. And they're saying this is stupid.
Revealing it. Okay.
They're saying this is stupid.
Well, thank God.
Sorry, I didn't mean to criticize.
Yes, all right, Elizabeth. We're sorry.
Yeah, y'all are still. I still don't like you, but that's okay.
You don't want to accuse people of stuff they didn't do.
Well, apparently, there's been an ongoing war between frozen cherry pie makers and the FDA over whether or not they could proclaim that it was in fact fresh pie. This has been a lawsuit that's gone on for more than 50 years. And it's basically the government's like, well, you can't say it's fresh. And they're like, it's raw. It's ready to go into the oven. It's made with fresh ingredients. Why can't we say it's fresh? It's clearly frozen.
Yeah.
And it's just the word fresh. You know, that they're been fighting that.
All right. So they're protecting us. Meanwhile, there are chemicals and gobs of sugar and things that Europeans don't have to eat in their food that we do for some reason.
Red food dye number 80 or whatever.
Well, they're just forcing people. You got to go back to the ground yourself.
You do.
I mean, honestly, that's going to become the only way.
Well, we'll all go back to the ground eventually.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't want to take it there, but it is a fact of life.
It is part of life, man.
It's a big part.
You got a long
joy.
book.
Your joy sits with your grief at the same time, always.
It does.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah,
follows you everywhere.
It does. So even when we're finding that joy and taking it with us.
Yeah. Sometimes you get a kick in the teeth.
Oh, life, you're so funny.
So hilarious. All right, folks. I think we're gonna have to wrap it up.
Well, I think so. If we brought it to the ground, I mean,
that's it.
That means
we went up. We flew so high,
and then we've landed.
We were like,
and we're gonna let our little community go.
We're like that Greek guy with the wings. You know that guy.
We're not gonna fly that high though.
Oh, okay.
I'm a little more reasonable than that.
Yeah, if I could just glide.
Okay,
that'd be really cool.
Y'all have a great week. Enjoy what you do. Try to find your joy. Take it out. Share it.
Be a better person every day.
Yeah.
Or at least try.
Try to laugh at what's going on around you. Change what you can and put up with the rest.
There you go. That's right.
That's it.
All right.
All right, community.
Y'all have a good one. See you in 2 weeks.
Your mouth around the shaft.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're just going to start right there.
Yeah. I don't know if the word shaft got into it. Into the.
Oh, that's fine. I was joking.
Oh, okay.
It's not necessary. Oh, I see you switched to water.
Yes.
I did not.
Okay. Well, that's fine. You should be okay. Get your microphone where it needs to be. And
I'm trying.
You know.
I haven't had to adjust this in a while. Do you have clips today?
No, actually, I don't really.
No? You didn't go in search of anything?
I've got my sounder. That's about it.
To transition?
Well, for fun, actually, it's just more than anything else.
Okay.
So, it's like
when you feel a segue coming on.
Yeah, we're gonna completely shift gears and go to something new.
Okay.
There it is.
Go from serious to hysterical.
Yeah, and if I can think of a funny segment name, I'll do that, but I probably won't be able to on the fly.
No.
It'll come to me after.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Sometimes it happens.
That's what always happens.
Sometimes.
My voice. Tip of the teeth. Tip of the tongue. Top of the teeth.
Just right on top of you.
Yep. Oh, I got to get the bookmarks. Hang on.
Yeah, I have my two open. It's really only one.
I've got the microphone on way too
very,
soon.
Very loud.
Some of it, what, the microphone?
Oh, it feels very loud to me. I think I sound very loud.
Is that any different?
I don't know. Yeah,
No,
maybe.
I don't know. Probably not. I can do that and turn you down.
Okay.
Like that. Because that's your volume, right?
Yeah, that's
okay.
No. Settle down, Beavis.
I can do that.
Yeah, you had it at one. Okay, now I can't hardly hear it at all.
Okay.
So
tell me when.
There.
Oh.
Okay.
Right back where it was. Okay, gotcha.
It sounded really loud.
Okay. No, let me go get my
your bookmarks. Hurry up. This should have already been open.
You're right.
We're running late today.
Well, yeah.
Okay, because I still have things I want to do outside.
We'll get it.
I need a drill.
And hang on. Last thing. What was it I was just looking at a second ago that I needed?
I have no idea. I'm just waiting patiently.
Stop it.
Patiently.
No. Stop it.
Stop waiting patiently? Do you want me to throw a tantrum? I can throw a tantrum.
Yes. Throw a tantrum.
Throw a tantrum. I don't want to vote for any of these people. I don't like any of them. Please. Please don't make me.
Okay, that's it.
I can't believe that rocking chair went so fast. If the rocking chair thing falls through, let me know. Like, it didn't fall through; they took it. It wasn't like I'm holding it. It's broken.
Did somebody ask you to?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Like, it is at the road. You see the picture? It is. Somebody's taking it, but not that damn washer.
Well, that's weird. Let's see. I lost it. Damn it. Well, poop.
Okay. Well, maybe the podcast is just shorter. You just don't say as much.
I know.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
I don't know.
I think there's nothing wrong with that.
I don't know.
People's time is valuable.
That's true.
The fact that they spend any time listening to us is I don't know, a joy.
Yeah, well.
I don't know what they gain from it. I don't know if they feel good or just laugh, and it's just frivolous entertainment, and you learn maybe a thing or two occasionally.
All right. Are we?
You got your shit together now.
Yeah, more or less. All right, and get my microphone right where I want it, and I sound okay. I have to talk with the big voice, sit up straight, all that stuff.
Yes, let the air flow.
Let it flow through.
Yes, get comfy in your Miss Kitty approved chair.
Yes, oh yes, she loves it. It's so soft.
It's so soft. It's bumpy too, like the rocks in the driveway. She loves to roll around on them.
Oh,
it's got.
I don't feel it really. I just feel cushion.
Yeah, but you're not Miss Kitty.
That's true.
You don't have feline sensibilities.
Oh no.
Okay.
No, I certainly don't.
No, you're not that graceful.
All right. So